Raw, December 13th, 2021 review, and this was a rough one. I start out with recapping of last week's cage match and after-match segment that happened, which was good. Then we go right after that into a MVP and Bobby Lashley promo. And man, MVP calling out the current WWE roster for its whining and complaining is just definitely a win for me. Kevin Owens comes out, says he hasn't paid attention to anything Lashley did for 2 years. Wasn't Lashley champion, like WWE champion, in that time period? Like, way to bury the belt, KO, and make yourself sound like a complete idiot that you didn't pay attention to what the WWE champion was doing. And now Seth Rollins comes out. We're talking about Earned It, their match at day one, and it's like, earned it? That's like BS at this point. No one earns shit anymore in the WWE. Then Biggie comes out. And that one old guy in the crowd, as they're panning through the crowd, sums up this whole segment perfectly. Boring. Biggie, Bobby Lashley, and MVP are the only entertaining part of this whole thing, and it goes on way too long in my opinion. And then the authority figures come out. Oh, that's right, you know. Bobby versus all of the day one WWE match participants. And one-on-one matches throughout the night. Like, who came up with this ID? Like, if Bobby wins, he buries the participants. If he loses, it proves nothing because he had to fight 3 people in a single night. RK Bro segment follows that, and Jackass is being thrown around a lot in this segment. And yes, Randy is the saving grace of RK Bro, and he always will be. Moving on. This is a very long... This is going to be a long one. Backstage segment with authority figures and champion participants appears again in like, okay, I guess. And we get Riddle versus Otis. And Chad Gable and Randy Orton sitting on chairs by the announcer's table. That's... I don't even know what that is. I guess they are the 2 participants in the match as tag team partners, so... Is this going to become a running thing now? And it's nice to see Otis being a powerhouse, you know. Although Riddle does this stupid palm strike thing that just looked ridiculous. And not like the fun ridiculous, like, oh, that was pretty funny, you know, that's cool. But the stupid kind. Though... And this is a spoiler for the end of the match. Why is one of the tag team champions losing to a non-title contender on Raw? A non-title contender that specifically lost a tournament to determine who would be facing RK Bro for the tag titles. And we get Bianca Belaire. Recap, and they bring up EST, and I'm gonna keep this joke alive as long as possible. Since they don't explain it, once again, what EST stands for, I've decided to make up my own thoughts on what it stands for. Exceedingly sucky technician. We get a Bianca Belaire promo. Is she supposed to be a sassy colored woman? Because that's kind of a stereotype, isn't it? Also, they mention EST again. Extremely small time. Bianca Belaire versus Doudrop again. Didn't we just do that last week? Doudrop promo. Wasn't anything to write home about, that promo. And Doudrop talks about Bianca stealing and like the spotlight, and it's like Bianca hasn't stolen any spotlights. That's the four horsewomen's job. And these girls are just sloppy in the ring. And they say EST again. Everyone sees trash. That one move was just bad in this match. It looks so awful. I think it was supposed to be a Hurricane Rana. And then, there's this one point where Doudrop does this elbow drop thing, and the announcer, the commentators say, destroys the intestines, and, what even was that? EST mentioned again. Exit stage today. At least the high rope splash actually finished the match this time. And they couldn't get away without mentioning EST again, so every second today. Hey, it's hard to come up with these. And Doudrop gets cheered after the match is over. I thought that was funny. We get a Kevin Owens interview. Oh, I'm pretty sure he makes a joke about the hometown. At least that's what it sounds like. He's calling them trash. Like the town the arena that they're in. You know what I mean? Insulting the town or the arena that you're at is a cheap way to get heat if you don't do it in a clever way. And Owens does not do it in a clever way. Then we get this whole thing with WWE apparently advertising who they're signing from college students. Like, it's somehow a professional sport type signing, like it's a draft, like a little actual draft. I'm not gonna lie, it's actually kind of interesting. Then we get Bobby Lashley versus Kevin Owens, the first of the matches. And nice to see Seth Rollins keeping the tradition of watching TVs backstage of a match that's going on at the time in a way no one in the entire world does. And MVP as a manager is just great. Lashley looks so believable. And we get Becky Lynch versus Liv Morgan recap. Way to remind us that we were almost rid of Becky as champion. And Becky's song is still the same. She still wrestles the same too as when she was face. What is with Becky's attire though in this when she comes out? It's like an 8, a plus sign, and a cross all like in a line going up and down on her abdominal area. Like, what does that even mean? And Becky's promos are still bad. She brings up how everybody wanted Liv Morgan to win, and it's like, yeah, we wanted Liv Morgan to win because you can't carry a division, Becky. You can't carry a show. Raw's ratings are in the toilet. Your freaking clips of your segments on Raw and your matches get like so little views on YouTube that they pretty much don't even exist, really. And then she goes on this tirade complaining about critics and criticisms and all of this and how everybody's talking meanly about her live. She's doing this all live on Raw in front of an audience of thousands. WB, how can you not see how that is like, this is like just terrible? How it negatively impacts people's view of your stars, that they're going on these tirades on live TV about how people are saying mean stuff about them. Fans, by the way, critics, social media accounts, and all of this. It's like, it just makes your stars look pathetic. Then Liv Morgan comes out, and she could work on her mic skills a bit here, please. Like, can anyone in the women's division, aside from Alexa Bliss and Lacey Evans, cut a promo? 'Cause, I mean, say what you want about them, but at least they try to be entertaining and try to have a personality and character, even if Alexa Bliss should have dropped her evil Bliss character after the Fiend left or was fired, but I'm not the one calling the shots in WWE. And why, in God's name and in the name of freaking intelligent and actual thought, would you make Liv Morgan look so weak in this segment between her and Becky Lynch? She gets the crap beaten out of her and gets her like arm pinned in between the stairs and a ring post, and Becky stomps on it with the worst looking stomps I've ever seen a wrestler do. And she's like crying. It's like, oh, I can't get it out. It's like, why? Are you trying to ruin every other woman in the freaking division just so Becky Lynch looks better? Because that's kind of what it looks like. Then Becky Lynch cuts this promo after assaulting Liv Morgan or whatever, and she says she's gonna go home and hang out with her husband. Are you just an idiot? Like, is your IQ in the negatives? Your husband is Seth Rollins, who works on the same show as you, Raw, Monday Night Raw, and is competing in matches on Raw, and is competing in a match tonight on this episode of Raw. And you're going home to him? Where do you people live? Is it like just down the block from the arena? AJ Styles' interview backstage follows this. It was kind of okay, better than Becky and Liv segment. And Omos shows up. And it was alright. And then we get Finn Balor and Damian Priest versus Dirty Dogs. Okay, I get Priest being in this match because he has a score to settle or whatever, but why Finn Balor? Then they, after it comes back from this commercial break, they do this thing where it shows a superstar fact or whatever. It's like something about them. A superstar on the roster. And it's like, I kind of like the idea of that. They should do more of that. Maybe they'll finally tell us what EST stands for in this superstar fact. We get a 24/7 championship segment. Champion segment, you know. And it's made instantly better due to R-Truth's presence. Though I lost due to it being an intergender segment. Either the 24/7 championship is for women or men. You can't do both. Because if you do both, nobody's going to take it seriously. I mean, nobody was going to take the 24/7 championship seriously in the first place because it's for pure entertainment value, which is a good thing. But making it an intergender title just makes any segment with it in, like, just cringe. It's cringe. And we're back to the tag match, I think. Yeah. Finn Balor and Damian Priest versus Dirty Dogs, Dolph Ziggler and Bobby Roode. And why does Austin Theory show up and try to take a selfie while Finn Balor's in wrestling with one of the guys? I don't get this. Like, why does he appear? Is he being set up for a U.S. title run? Because Damian Priest is the U.S. champion. Then we get a recap of Nikki Cross from last Monday. Rhea Ripley and Nikki Cross backstage segment is alright. Could be better though. And is this whole Nikki's on like a losing streak or whatever leading to something? Like a heel turn or a team breakup? Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of a little bit curious. okay, I can just say this now about Zelina, or however you pronounce it. Just because they're a woman and call themselves queen does not change the fact that this gimmick of being a royal of the ring isn't overplayed. And she's not bad on the mic. She's better than I'm used to when it comes to the current roster, especially from the women's division. We get Selena versus Ripley. Carmella and Nikki Chase leads to the match ending in like a minute. Like, what was the point of this? We get a Seth Rollins and Kevin Owens segment. It was alright, though the Kevin Owens does this like don't walk away was kind of dumb, where he just says it. And who the hell are the Migos, and why are they guest appearing on the Day 1 pay-per-view? Like, seriously, I've never heard of these guys. We get Seth Rollins versus Bobby Lashley, finally. Lashley is truly just fun. There's a ring post spot in this that looks really good. And Biggie carries the torch of TV watching tradition in WWE. Seriously, these backstage segments where they show wrestlers watching the TVs of, like, and on the TVs of, like, a match, the current match going on is on it. They just look so stupid because how they just stand and kind of, like, turn their head towards the TV and watch it, like, in an angle. Like, who watches a TV like that? I like how MVP shouts out Bobby Smash, though, during this match. That was good. So, Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins will do this whole plan of getting a DQ win for Seth. And then the Authority figures out, come out and make a decent call. A non-heel call, actually. Didn't see that coming. So, Lashley's matches are now no DQ, and they restart the Seth Rollins and Bobby Lashley match. Then we get another Vince McMahon and Austin Theory segment, and Vince's shut up is still good, I guess. Was there something wrong with the sound here? Because for a few minutes there, I couldn't hear what Austin Aries or Vince McMahon were saying. And we get Miz TV with Maurice and with Edge. Maurice is still pretty good on the mic. And when Miz comes out and he's going to hug his wife and is like, careful with those hands. That goes any lower, you're going to have some problems. And then they do the whole, like, Miz endorsing an inductee into the Hall of Fame. But it turns out it's himself. And it's like that, okay, that was good. That got me. Well, this is clearly a jab at Edge. And then they start drinking champagne. And it's just, it's odd. But, hey, playing up to the Hall of Fame jab, you know, they're celebrating. And then Edge comes out and does this whole squeaky wheel thing in his promo. And, like, I'm glad that went somewhere. And I guess this is okay. Well, let's be honest, the Miz will go into the Hall of Fame one day. I do like how you do the whole, like, Miz throwing champagne into Edge's eye. That was unique, actually. I don't think I've ever seen that done before, at least not in a long time. Then Miz and Maurice have this argument, and she slaps him because he used her to block a spear or whatever, but, like, okay, I'm not going to take it seriously. Biggie and Owens and Rollins segment, that was good. Biggie is growing on me. I mean, I liked him well enough, but now he's quickly becoming a favorite of mine. We get a recap of Bobby Lashley's previous matches. Then we get Lashley and MVP interview. MVP is gold, man, and Lashley is quick and to the point. Finally, it's time for Biggie versus Bobby Lashley. In-ring action is decent, and then a cameraman goes down, and that's always a win for me. okay. The table setups get ridiculous in this though, and that steel step spot was brutal and awesome. Rollins and Owens run in. Who couldn't see that coming? Table spots were great. Biggie and ring talk was fun and passionate. I like to see that. He was emoting because that's what you're supposed to do when you cut a promo. So now we have a fatal 4-way at day 1. Like, can we have it stay this way? Like, no more additions are necessary. This Raw had some good moments, but was overwhelmingly either bad or cringy or just dull. Becky Lynch is somehow even worse at cutting a promo than the last promo she did, and whoever is writing for Liv Morgan needs replaced. RK Bro was just average, and also why is the champ losing a match against a non-title contender? The Selena match was pointless and should have been rebooked or scrapped. Selena is better on the mic than when she doesn't do the whole queen gimmick. So I don't know why they had to stick her with it and why she has to talk in that attempt at a British accent, I could say. The opening segment was just dull and all over the place. Sometimes it was good, but mostly just dull or just dragged on. That's kind of a lot of what happened on this Raw. I'd give this one a hard pass. Thanks for watching this. When you do, subscribe if you want, and don't forget to give yourselves a big thumbs up. And good night, everybody, because I'm recording this right after just finishing Raw. Like, I literally just watched it and I'm recording it now, so it's good night instead of goodbye.